who are you and what do you do?
My name is Ezmond. I do research about mental health in the University of Hong Kong.
Are you born in Hong Kong?
Yes, I was born and raised in Hong Kong.
What are the things you like most about Hong Kong?
I think definitely a few things that I quite enjoy about Hong Kong. First is the diversity. You get a mixture of everything here in Hong Kong. You don't need to travel all around the world. Especially I think the diversity about food. Then you get all kind of mixtures of food like Japanese food, Thai food, Korean food, or like a European food or any type of food like you can easily find in Hong Kong. I think the second is the diversity about what you can do, the recreation activities. You can go for hiking in Hong Kong, you can go to the beach, you can do water sports, you can go indoor sports, you can have a place to chill or to study. I think it's quite a mixture of all these things. That's something that I quite like. And I think the third thing I do like about Hong Kong is the transportation. If you're not driving, you can pretty much get around in Hong Kong using MTR or the bus. Sometimes you want to take it slow in the Hong Kong Island side, you can take the tram. You don't need to worry too much about the traffic jam or anything like that.
What are the things you like the least?
One thing is about the fast pace in Hong Kong. I think a lot of times you're so busy with what you're doing and you forget to take a second to just relax, to be mindful of like the surroundings, or take a moment to just enjoy what life is. Sometimes I think in Hong Kong you don't get that luxurious moments of just like relaxing or anything like that. I think the second thing is such a chase after what is new or what is branded in Hong Kong. But I think a lot of times we're more focused about building up. Hong Kong has a really long history of being poor and then now being very successful, and I think we want to continue on striving for that. But a lot of times we forgot the authenticity of the simplicity of nature. I think those things should be remembered as well.
But in Hong Kong, you also have a lot of places just to walk in the nature and chill, right?
Yes. I think that is part of it, but the part of the history of Hong Kong is like getting less and less. We start to build fancy buildings, like chase after these things, but a lot of times the historical sides of Hong Kong or those things has some artistic meaning to it. Like we're slowly getting rid of it because we don't see the money values into it, but then we just start replacing those things with just commercial stuff or like branded stuff.
What is the main religion here?
I think it's a mix of the Western side, the Christianity, Catholic side, and also like the strong history of the Chinese side, the Buddhism, the Taoism in Hong Kong. And the people in Hong Kong, especially I think our parents' generation, are more traditional Chinese, so they have like the Taoism or like the Buddhism values in it, where we go worship the ancestors annually to just like go and just visit them at the graveyard and just like pay our respect over there. But at the same time, like because we have a diversity from the European side, so we do get a mixture of the Catholic side and the Christianity side.
And what are the main differences between living here or living in mainland China?
I think one thing is the cultural difference. Like even we might jokingly aside, like we're just a river heart, but I think Hong Kong is more international in the sense that you're more welcoming of the diversity that comes in with ideas, with cultural backgrounds, with languages, with food, with cuisines. Whereas in mainland, maybe less of that mixture. You don't see that mixture. You see the monotone color of like the culture over there. Is people mainly speak Mandarin over there. They strive to live over there. But I think recent years, like mainland has been quite advanced in technology area, which I think Hong Kong we're slowly getting behind in that sense. Yeah, with the technology. But I think so that is an opportunity for us to honor the difference between the two, and also actually there is a difference, and that is actually a beauty of what the difference between Hong Kong and mainland is.
Here you speak Cantonese, right?
Yes.
And what are the differences between the two languages?
Cantonese, we can say it's a dialect. You can say it's actually a dying dialect. So it's kind of language that I think only the Guangdong people and only people in Hong Kong we speak. Mandarin is the official language in China. So then you can simplify it in that sense, where like more like a dialect. There's a lot of traditional values into it. I think there's a lot of beauty into the writings as well, like where there's meaning into each character that the simplified Chinese might not capture the sense.
In mainland China, they write in simplified Chinese, right? Here is traditional?
Traditional Chinese, yeah. And each character, actually, if you see the history of how it was formed, is actually, a lot of times it's the imagery of the object that we see, and then slowly transformed into like the traditional Chinese characters that we see. So for example, like with the word turtle, you can see like the shell of the turtle, and that is why the character itself in Chinese character is very complex, is because of the shell, like all the like lines and all the thing like structure you can see over there.
Can people speak Mandarin here?
Yeah, so we need to learn Mandarin in primary school. We call it three languages and two writing. We do have like three languages. We need to learn like Cantonese, Mandarin, and English, and we need to learn how to write traditional Chinese as well as English in our primary school education. So we do have a basic level of Mandarin skills. Mostly we understand.
And what about the cost of living here?
I think it's the major cost of living or the cost of expense in Hong Kong will be the housing cost. I think if you are able able to sort out the rental price, pretty much you can live in Hong Kong. Because the transportation, it's not that expensive. You can get food with a cheap price over there.
Yeah.
But then the living is like, it can take up to like a third or two-thirds of your salaries over there. So if you can solve that issues, there's no problem living in Hong Kong.
What about the average salary?
I would say normal average salary is around 18,000 in Hong Kong, up to like 22,000 like as a basic salary. But if you get a normal decent job, if you work for 5 years, it's around like 30,000 like per month. And if you get into some professional work, maybe you can get up to like 50,000 a month or like 60,000.
Is there a lot of difference between the poor and the rich here?
Yes, I think that is one of the issues that in Hong Kong is we're still struggling with, and still finding ways to deal with it is the like diversity between the rich and the poor, where I think a lot of the people who are suffering or in the poor areas, they don't get the basic needs for a lot of things, the food, for transportation, and also the living costs as well. A lot of them might live in under the bridge, for example, or like some really small apartments where there's only like 20 by 40. The living condition is quite bad. Hong Kong, we haven't really had to target any policies to help with these areas. So I think it really depends on the government organizations to help with those areas.